first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
And hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. Thank you for joining us, taking a live look there from our river camera. The Tilikum River, it looks very Portlandy out there right now.
Yes, very spring, I would say.
Very spring Oregon. You know,
Yes.
a little bit of gloom, tiny little bit of blue sky in there.
It'll come and go. We'll have
Yeah.
some sun breaks today.
Yeah.
We had a better one this morning, and then now the clouds are rolling back in. And I just see something. Okay, you see right above where it says alert on there,
Okay,
right there.
yes.
It's nice and flat.
Yes.
We need to do a whole talk about why the bottoms of clouds are flat.
Okay, all right.
It's not today, but we need to do
But
that.
we need to do, okay,
'Cause
flat clouds coming
I know.
soon.
I was a kid. I always wondered why isn't the whole cloud all nice and billowy? And there's a scientific explanation.
Never thought about that until right now, and so now I want it. Now I want that segment. But regardless, hello everybody. This is Fox 12 Now. We are live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, and this is one of our special segments where we get to have Katie come over here and do a little bit of a longer weather forecast, longer weather talk, and we are live streaming across all of our platforms, which means we can take your questions as well. So if you do have questions, feel free to drop those in there. I will monitor those. I will not answer your weather questions, but I'll deliver them to Katie.
Yes, and last week when we met, there were a few questions that came through that I didn't have the data right there here with me.
Yes.
So I just went back later and responded. There were the comments on Facebook. So if you're watching this post live or at any point, go ahead and drop those questions on, and I'll be monitoring it so I can get back and get those questions answered.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And all right, so as it says right there, warm up ahead, and you know that I always like it when we talk about warm weather coming.
Yes, so April is a month where we start seeing a little more warm stretches, little breaks, I have a whole, of course I have all the stats for you to talk about where we start, where we end, what we see, how much rain, all that kind of fun stuff.
Love it. Well, do you want to go into it here?
Yes, so as you can see, and we've been talking about, we do have some warm spring days ahead, but first, I really want to get through a recap here, just take a quick look together about what we had for the month of March. We started warm. We had those two kind of cool, wet weeks. We broke some records, which I'm going to show you here in a moment on the 25th and 26th. So not only did we reach those days but 82 is a new record for March. And we were, in general, 2.5 degrees warmer from normal, and that's taking into account both your daytime and your overnight temperatures. And then for the rain, even though we were warmer than normal, we had more rain. Excuse me, I have to take a drink. I'm still recovering my voice, if you're wondering what I'm doing here. So we had 4.68 inches for the month, and 3.97 is our average. So we kind of blew that average, that 30-year average, out of the water. And it's a 30-year average that's updated every 10 years. So those of you who ask where do these numbers come from, you can know that that's how that's put together for us. So quite a wet but also seemingly warm month. When we look at just the last few years, you go about 8 years back and we've only had a couple of wet Marches. If you added 2017, we would have 3 in the last 9. So even though we've had 3 wet years, we're still trending, at least the recent history in the last decade or so, of having more dry Marches than average. And we obviously beat that, not by much this month, when you could see the 2023 was not too far behind, but it was definitely a wetter month. And then here's that statistic for those warm March days. Okay, record-breaking warmth this week. We got to 82 on the 25th, March 26th. That is 80 on 25th. And then if you look back, March 16th, 80 degrees, that was in 1966. So that was the record previously. So we broke a record from 1966. And then we did have, we see a string of 77 degree days that were in between there. But the record of 80, 1966, we met it and then broke it within 2 days of the month. So that's kind of your quick March recap, but I know so many people are saying, I'm ready. People in the newsroom have been saying to me, Katie, can I take my patio covers off my furniture? When are we ready? So I wanted to do just a kind of a quick April outlook, kind of giving you where things are trending. I will forever remind you that this is all subject to change, because we know our atmosphere can do anything it wants to in a matter of moments. But this is the averages that we see. We start the month typically at 59, and we end it at 66.
All right.
So we are just getting into the 60-degree temperatures for the month. We drop back our average rain by more than an inch. So if you remember, I just showed you March. We typically have 3.97, so more than an inch less of rain. We obviously have had some soaker years, but in general, it is a more reasonably dry month. And we often see about 5 70-degree days in April, even though 66 is our average. It's about the time that things start turning more green and those temperatures start warming up for you.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are excited about that. Now, with that being said, I showed you, if you look at March, you can see that our high record there is 82. In April, our high record is 90. So we have, that's getting into the summer months, 90 is the first time we've reached that, and that was in April. And if you remember, I'm just going to pop ahead here real quick to June, that 116, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, I very much remember that.
That was not that long ago.
Insane.
That was insane. So not only is that a record for June, but that's just an all-time record for the month. So I made this graph, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago with Mark, because we just thought it would be fun to have something visual to see.
No, I love that. Yeah, actually seeing what those
See
are.
those temperatures. Okay, now here's where we can start to see the pattern for what's coming up and what we're watching for. So this is those 500 millibar levels. This is what we call the steering level of the atmosphere. So it kind of tells things where to go. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to. We've talked about cutoff lows when they break free from the steering of these jet streams and these winds and stuff. But there's our trough. There's a nice low for us right there. And then this is the ridge that's coming in. So this is what we have been sitting in, this dip in our jet stream right here. Cooler colors represent the cooler air. So we are moving from that into this as we get into Friday and Saturday. Now this ridge has been a little tricky. When it first showed up in the 7-day, it was a nice strong ridge. Then for a couple days it broke down and these red colors didn't even barely make it into Portland. Now the last day or so, it's back to it being a stronger ridge. So the placement and the timing haven't really changed, just the intensity of it has. And that's also impacted the temperatures where it looked like we might have Saturday and Sunday both be in the 70s. But timing has changed on that because as we see this ridge breaking down, now we're getting into Sunday, Monday, maybe Sunday night into Monday is when we get some of this cooler air. This is leaning toward a little bit more of what we call a zonal flow right here, but then this strong ridge pops it up. So we're keeping an eye on that, but it's just a weak system that's going to move through Sunday night into Monday. Just a few light showers, really not looking like much. And then here's the next ridge. This one has changed quite a bit. When it first showed up, it was building so far off to the east that we didn't catch even the edge of it. We were all in this yellow area right here. Well, now it looks like it's starting to build a little more off to the west, which means we have a chance to be a little more warm again, a little more dry as we go into the later parts of the month. And then that's where we get into this. So Climate Prediction Center, these are for the dates of April 8th through the 12th. And so the darker the color, the more deviation it is from average. And so the lighter you go, the less it is. So the entire state, although we're in 4 variations of it, all leaning toward a warmer time as you get to the 12th. And then once you pop just a little farther out, get through the middle of the month. This is the ridges that ridge I was talking about that we're watching.
Right.
So it's now moving up, which means even more. So right now, once we get through today, all the way through at least the middle of the month, we're leaning toward warmer than average temperatures, okay? Now for the rain, again, this is, Tony asked, Katie, can I take the covers off my patio furniture? I told him not yet. But depends on how, if you have the patio furniture that can handle a little light rain, maybe, because, like that Sunday, Monday thing, but if you need it to stay completely dry, don't do it quite yet. Here's what we have through the 12th. So this gray right here, that's average, okay? So you can see half the state is leaning toward below average rainfall, average and above average, and this is through the 12th. This should be no surprise. Right in there, right? But then shift again a little more toward the middle of the month, and that presses up a little farther. So now you have, about a third of the state in average rainfall, and then we start moving toward leaning above normal. So this is all through the middle of April. So in general, right now, we can say we are leaning toward slightly warmer and slightly below normal for the rainfall. And I just realized that I forgot to bring in our 7-day. So I'm just going to pop this on the fly right here for us. Where's that at? Because I know I always like to end with our 7-day.
I mean, I think this is interesting, even just looking at this map right here, with what it's leading towards.
With that ridge and all that?
Ridge.
Okay. So here it is, 7-day forecast. This is where I was talking about this hasn't changed, that this was going to be our warmest and driest day. What's changed is kind of the stuff on either end of it. Okay. These showers have moved up a little, and that means these temperatures have dropped a little. But now Friday is looking a little warmer and a little more sunshine, and then the showers that we expected to go into Thursday morning, tomorrow morning, actually still might happen mainly along the coast. And those early morning hours may be done by like 9 o'clock, and it's not supposed to be much. So likely most of the region, other than a few places on the coast, will be completely dry. And that's pretty much average. So I would say tomorrow, super typical average day, and then we warm up above average for a bit, and then we settle back into right here. This is like typical average spring, April, light showers, low 60-degree temperatures. And then as far as overnight, right here we're just a little below average, so 42 is our average overnight temperature right now. So we get to average and then we warm up just slightly overnight, but it is not time to plant yet.
Okay.
So that's a whole other segment we could do, is when to plant in Portland.
Right. When to plant, when to take the covers off the patio for me.
Yeah, and why clouds are flat on the bottom.
Yeah, why are clouds flat?
Yep, so that's just kind of we didn't plan any hour-long segment for us today, but that's what I thought would be fun to kind of run through and show people what we're seeing, what we're trending toward right now, if there were curiosity questions out there about it.
Not seeing any coming through, but as you mentioned, you can answer those afterward. So people do have questions.
Absolutely.
I'm sure a lot of people will be watching this after the fact.
And topics. Shoot me some topics.
Yeah, I mean,
we're happy to cover anything.
Flat clouds, there they are.
So there they are. Yes, see,
we have to do that segment next time. I mean, that's established. So, but if you have other topics,
we could just do a cloud. We should just do a cloud segment.
I'm down with that. I'm down.
Because I do have a graphic that shows all the different types of clouds and how they form and what level of atmosphere and how they're named or labeled, where they are. Your alto, altostratus,
that's some of the stuff that we could do here on this segment because we have extra time to go through that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So send us in whatever those topics are, those things that you want covered, and of course, if there's something major going on, we'll have all of that as well.
Always.
But plenty of things that we can cover on this show, and so feel free to share this segment, drop in those questions anytime, and we'll get those to Katie, and she can answer those for you. And yeah, this is Fox 12 now. We live stream here from the newsroom every day, and I've got plenty more stuff coming up later on today at 1 o'clock.
Busy guy over here.
There's always something going on. So feel free to tune in, and whatever platform you're on, this is the place to be. But there's other ones too, so don't forget the Fox 12 Oregon app, Fox 12 Weather app, another great thing to get, just to get those updates every time that happens.
Yep.
And KPTV.com, so plenty of places, but thanks for finding us. All right, well, Katie.
Yes.
I like this outlook.
I think I'm ready.
For part of this, but still, it's good. All right, well, I think that's
it. I'm done.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. This is Fox 12 Now.